everybody, Pedro with LTS, and this week's video I am super excited about. It's the new Beretta 688. We're gonna try to cover differences, upgrades, everything you need to know about the 688 compared to a 686, compared to the 694. But I want to start the video by saying how excited I am about this gun. Even if I told you that I am more excited about the 688 than I am about the SL2. And I know it's a shock when I say that for most people, but I'll tell you why. Beretta now came out with two very good, amazing guns, the 688 and the SL2. Very different price points, right? For the longest time, it just felt like they would come out with a new version of the same gun. It looked a little bit different, but it didn't really feel different. You had the DT11 black, they had the carbon fiber rib, but then you had the DT11 gold, you had the new DT11 pyramid, you have variations of the same DT11, but it doesn't feel much difference, okay? Now, you had the 686. The 686, you had 686, Silver Pigeon 1, 687, Silver Pigeon 5. Before you had Silver Pigeon 2, Silver Pigeon 3, Silver Pigeon 5, you had this, and then you also had the 690 series, which was 690, 691, 92, 93, 95. The most different one in there was the 692, felt really different, but besides the 692, they kind of felt the same. You did have, however, many options to choose from as far as looks and what you're going to use it for. But now, with the 688, it does feel different. It is a different looking, feeling gun. That's why I'm so excited. Why I'm so excited, I'm more excited for the 688 than I am for the SL2 is because the price is accessible. The SL2 is amazing if you have the money and you can afford it. That's the thing. But the amount of people that can afford an SL2 is a small percentage of the population, much smaller when compared to the people that can afford a 688. And that's why I'm so excited about it, because it is affordable and I think is worth it. It's hard for me to tell people sometimes I don't think a gun is worth it, what they're asking, or I wouldn't get it. And I'll give you my honest opinion always. It always depends on what you're going to use it for. But the 688, I really like it. Let's start with this. Here is the new Beretta 688. As you can see, a lot of changes have been done to this gun. Completely different from any other Beretta. You have a black laminated stock. I know a lot of people like Turkish walnut, but it's kind of been there forever. We've been using Turkish walnut on everything, on all these guns. So now you got a different look. If you don't like this, you can get wood later for it. But I do like the fact that it has a black laminated wood. Looks different. It's different. It's refreshing. Then we go to the action. Black action with the orange 688, similar to the Beretta 690, which was black and orange. Some people like it, some people don't. I think it's refreshing. I think it's new. I think the receiver has a total different look to it, which you're gonna get closer to see. Or, of course, our laminated black forend, and you have our sporting barrels. So this is a true sporting clays gun. Let's start with it. Why? So we have a true sporting stock in the back. It comes with or without adjustable comb for both right or left-handed. The gun comes in two configurations, 30 or 32 inches, and it is a clay gun. Here we start on our stock. We have sporting clays, I mentioned, is pretty standard on Beretta. On the 688, I'm sorry, what I did is I took all the washers out from the comb, I dropped it all the way down, and the dimensions that I got was 1 7/16 at the nose by 2 1/4 at the heel. So now you know, if you need higher, you have washers you can put on it, you get the adjustable comb one. But with the comb absolutely flat, no washers, 1 7/16 by 2 1/4. Very similar to the new Silver Pigeon ones that are coming out, a little bit lower than the 694. The 694 was 1 3/8 at the nose by 2 at the heel. So you say, well, Peter, is only 1/16 of an inch at the nose. Yes, but it is a 1/4 inch difference at the heel. So when you have to drop from one point here to a lower point in the back, you're gonna have a smidge more drop towards the middle where you put your face. So yes, something to consider. Now, let's talk about the grip. If you handle a 694, same grip profile. Love it. Big palm, nice substantial palm swell. You do have a true pistol grip going all the way down. That's what I always talk about, what it feels like a true clay gun. It does feel like a true clay gun. You have a decent palm swell that you can grab your hands around it, and the pistol is very straight. Moving on to the trigger. The triggers are adjustable triggers, so you can move it back and forth to adjust for your trigger length on the finger. The receiver. Here we go. Look at this receiver. Some people are going to say, wow, I like the engraving. Great. I like this black one. It looks very different, very aggressive and futuristic, refreshing. It has two tones of black. You do have glossy black on the receiver, and you do have a little matte black around it on the forend iron, over top here where the barrels fit into, and of course on the top of the receiver is that matte black. The top lever. If you know the Beretta 690 was very similar feeling, it has some kind of sort of a rubberish feeling to it. The internals of this gun, it's a 686. It's a 680 series action, right? The safety is a little bit different. It is a 694 style safety on the back. The top lever is a 690 style top lever cam and pin, but everything else is a 680 series receiver. And then is the question, why would I pay $3,500 for a 686? It's a Silver Pigeon 1 pager, what's the difference? Well, the price, it's good for the mechanics of the gun. What makes the difference is how it feels. Now it feels like a true clay gun on the 680 platform. It feels much nicer to hold in your hand if you like a more substantial gun compared to the 686, which is a much lighter gun. So moving on to the forend. The forend shape is a 694 style forend, and then you have a 680 style forend iron. So the shape looks like a 694. The forend iron itself is a 680 style forend with the pulling lever right here. Checkering, I like it. It is, you can feel it very nice. Now barrels, 680 series barrels with Optima HP extended chokes. So you do have basically a beefed up Silver Pigeon. Okay, now let's compare 686 to 688. Here are some things that I wrote down. I measured it up, I weighted them, I measured the receiver with calipers and so on. So on your 686 Silver Pigeon 1 receiver, the receiver weighs a total of 960 grams. Your 694 receiver weighs 985 grams. Your 688 receiver weighs 1,020 grams. Now you can see I'm looking it down because there was so much information for you guys, so bear with me. So I have Silver Pigeon 1, 960, 694, 985, 688, 1,020. Do you see something here that we're going on a trend? So you have Zoli Z Sport XL Evo, heavier frame, try to bring the weight back to your hands. You have the Perazzi High Tech, bringing more weight to your hands. And now we have this gun here, 688, bring even more weight to your hands. So if it uses the same barrel and it has a 694 style stock grip, but the receiver is much heavier than them all, that means that when you're holding this gun, it doesn't tip forward, it doesn't tip back, but now you can feel even more the weight right in your hand. That's what I've been talking about all this time. The weight between your hands is a good thing. You don't feel it on your front arm, you don't feel it on your back arm, but it allows the gun to sit between both of your hands. For me, it is a much better handling when I can have control over the gun with a decent palm swell and more weight between both of my hands. I don't have to work with my front hand, I don't have to work with my back hand. It's just sitting there, sitting between both of my hands, creating more stability for me. So those are the weights. Now the sizes of the receiver. So here you go, 686 receiver at its thinnest point. So let's get it here. Here's a 686. I measured it in two places. I measured it right in front here. It is a total of 39 millimeters. Back here, it is a total of 40.36 millimeters, okay? The 694 receiver, I have it right here. So I measure it right in the front section for a total of 38.85 millimeters. Now in the back here for a total of 41.43 millimeters. Then we go to our 688. Our 688 doesn't have a thick point and a lower point on the overall action. It's just one square total action for a total of 42 millimeters from beginning to the very end of the action. So it is a different size frame than your 686. Even though it's a 686 internal action, it is a different frame. It is a wider frame, okay? So the wood that you shoot on your 686 cannot be transferred over properly because the receiver is wider. So will be the forend iron also because the overall receiver is wider. So there are very big differences in here. When you talk about millimeters, it might not sound like much. You know, 686, the thickest part is 40. The 694, the thickest part is 41. The overall for the 688 is 42. But we're talking about steel. It is substantial, and the weight proves it. 686, 960. 694, 985 grams. 688, 1,020 grams. It is a substantial difference. It is, you can feel it when you pick it up. And that is why I'm so excited about this gun. Because at the $3,500 price point, it is between a 686 and a 694. And if I told you that I'd rather have a 688, then I don't want one of those. That's the truth for me. When you pick up this gun, it feels substantial and it uses the locking system of a 686, which the 694 uses a similar style, but you can get more services out of your 686. Now, and comes the question, you know, the 694 barrels and so on, but listen, try this gun, pick it up, and I think you'll be surprised on how good it feels in your hands. And I keep repeating this to people that doesn't matter how good of a gun is built if you don't like how it feels. It can be the best gun in the world with the most amount of technology. Gun practically shoots itself. If it doesn't feel good in your hands, it will be the wrong gun and you won't shoot well with it. So you have now a third variation from Beretta, a third price point. So you have a $2,500, $3,800, and $4,800 gun to pick from. My pick, 688 all the way. You have everything you need, especially for somebody that is starting out, so you don't have to go anymore with the Silver Pigeon, what is a little bit lighter gun. So overall weight for this is going to be the 686 that I just showed you came in at 7 pounds 14 ounces. The 694 that I just showed you came in at 8 pounds 2 ounces. The 688 came in at 8 pounds 7 ounces. So it is noticeable. My opinion is absolutely worth it. I would rather have the 688. And that is why I just told you that I am more excited about this gun than the SL2, even though I'm super excited about the SL2. It's just because it is affordable. Allowing new shooters or people that simply that is their budget, it will be a great option for them on a known proven action. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Go ahead and try it and find one of these guns, handle it. It is absolutely worth it. And I think it looks really cool. Black with orange, black laminated wood. Over time, you are gonna find Turkish walnut wood for it, as always. But again, great job by Beretta. I am very impressed with Beretta. And I hope you guys have a chance to go out and try one of these, at the very least pick it up. And pick it up against the other two that I just told you, 686, 688, and 694. Pick the gun that is right for you. Thank you guys, take care.